Greetings everyone, my name is Jack5, and although I retired that opening catchphrase a while ago, I felt it was important to use here. This video is a compilation of my best bits from the last 2 years, so you don't have to bother with crawling through my old garbage to find the hidden gems. In said 2 years, I feel like I've properly established the kinds of videos I like to make for this channel, and this lineup of 7 videos is the best example of that. They're all decently long, are entertaining enough to watch until the end, and I've made sure to cut out all the extra intros and outros to make this compilation as seamless as possible. That technically makes this a sleep aid video, which I will absolutely be making the most of, but if you can't fall asleep to my voice because of the trauma I regularly inflict onto you, this is still well worth the watch. None of this would have been possible without those active in my community as of late though. I've never had a group of people that have been dedicated to my content before this point in time, and if you're not yet in my community, perhaps because someone shared you this video and urged you to watch the first few minutes, which you should do to your friends as well, you're missing out. If you end up liking what you see in this compilation, you can subscribe to this channel of course, but there are plenty of other ways to get involved. You can join my Discord server where my community is most active. You can check out my clips channel where I post much more regular. And you can comment on all my new videos. That is an often neglected way of supporting creators, don't you know? I think that's everything I wanted to cover, so make sure you're all subscribed because you better be. Alright everybody, I hope you all enjoy the compilation, and as always, I will see you all next time.
I have never before been on the edge of losing my sanity so many times in succession before now. What brought me to this state? Well, I can pin it on a few things. Team Fortress 2's maps are burned into my mind and I can visualize them just by their names. And the Marble Blast series is something I'm overly nostalgic for, having to play it every so often like it's some kind of addiction. I thought it would be a fun little thing to combine these two interests of mine by porting the simple map Turbine into Platinum Quest. Little did I know how much this would drain me. I poured my soul into this project. I sank more than 2 weeks of my life working on it, and I was constantly fixing all kinds of annoying bugs and fatal crashes that out-spaghetti the Source engine. I've tortured myself for fun before, but never as much as this. How much more can I possibly handle before I self-destruct? Either way, it's finally done, and now you can try it without having to bear any of the pain that I endured. Platinum Quest is free to download from marbleblast.com, and I'll be getting into how to download Turbine for it later in this video. Yet to alleviate some of the damage I've done to myself, I would really appreciate it if you liked and share this video to anyone you can, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also consider joining my Discord server and following me on Twitch, for I'll probably end up hosting a play session including this level and others for anybody to join in the future. But for now, please enjoy the catalog of adversities I had to overcome to make Marble Blast Turbine a reality. Alright, just calm down, you're not working on this anymore. You could do this. First, let me give you some background. Team Fortress 2 runs on the engine we all know and love, Source, which released in the year 2004. But Platinum Quest is a mod of Marble Blast Gold, a 2002 game which uses the Torque engine developed by Garage Games. So in order to port Turbine to this other game, not only did I have to convert everything to Torque engine formats, but I also had to deal with all the bugs this ancient engine threw at me. Now, I need you to memorize some things before we proceed so you won't be confused. In the Source engine, maps are built from world geometry, which is made out of blocks, and entities placed through the map such as props. However, Torque's levels are comprised of interiors and shapes, which are both just glorified models. These terms aren't strictly equal to each other, but any more detail would make this video too long, so just remember which engine each applies to. Source has geometry and props, Torque has interiors and shapes. Got it? Good. Just like how Source has its standard map editor Hammer, Torque has Torque Constructor. At first I tried using that level editor to build Turbine on my own, cross-referencing brushes and their dimensions in Hammer. But it didn't take me long at all to realize this would be a waste of my time, since not only would this take ages, but it wouldn't help me convert props to the Torque format at all. Torque Constructor is also incredibly buggy, more so than Hammer if you can believe it, and apparently it can break a Marble Blast project if you at all use the undo shortcut. I could not stand for that level of mental exhaustion, so I quickly moved over to Blender, a software that I did not have the fondest of memories using. The first step was to import a Turbine VMF file, which I got from using BSP Source, into Blender, and thankfully there are add-ons available for this. Blender Source Tools and IO Import VMF together allowed me to import the decompiled version of Turbine, which I would increase the size of by 3 times to match the scale of Marble Blast levels. I then installed the IO Diff and IO Scene DTS add-ons, which would allow me to import and export Torque interiors and shapes. But for some strange reason, the add-on add-on refused to work in Blender 2.93, the latest version at the time of this video. Not even the people I was talking to on the Platinum Quest Discord understood why, so I had to downgrade to version 2.92 in order to use it. I quickly got to work organizing all the parts of the map into categories, such as world geometry, detail geometry, props, and everything else. I also turned the stairs of the map into ramps for better marble control. Yet it was when I started trying to export these objects that the problems truly began. At first, every single material I tried to get into Platinum Quest would always show up as a solid white texture on shapes, while any interiors I made would crash the game. I eventually learned that all the material names in Blender needed to be exactly the same as their file names in order for the textures to show up, meaning I had to rename every material. I also discovered that the VMF file import process made dozens of duplicates for each material, so I had to go around the entire project merging all of these duplicates together. Okay, so I merged them all together, exported the interiors, and wait, what's going on here? All the textures are messed up and the geometry is straight up broken. These happen to be bugs unique to interiors. To fix the broken triangle issue, I had to split the geometry of the level into 3 different interiors, the blue side, the red side, and the middle area, so none of them exceeded 16,000 triangle polygons. As for the textures, I didn't realize this until much later in the project, but for some reason, every single texture in an interior is flipped vertically during an export. So I just did the same to the Platinum Quest files, meaning all the raw materials I use for the interiors are flipped. Now here's a fun fact, Torque has no equivalent to overlays in Source, so all of those decorations on the walls and floors had to become infinitely thin planes. Similarly, Torque's handling of transparent materials is also pretty screwed up. They don't work at all in interiors, and you need to specifically tell the DTS add-on that a material is truly transparent. But that's not all of the jank related to transparent shapes. If the bounding box of one shape is closer to the camera than that of one with transparency, the former will be rendered on top of the transparent textures. I had to identify all of the glass surfaces in the map and organize the shapes in a way so that the transparent materials were always at the forefront of the player's view. And then I had to move each overlay further and further away from their walls every so often during development because they would keep flickering if anybody got too far away and moved the camera around. After a long while, I managed to fix all of those problems and oh, come on, why doesn't this prop have collision? In fact, none of these props have any collision. Here I was thinking collision detection was automatic, but that's only for interiors and not shapes. I've been taking too many things for granted, for it turns out that you need to create a separate untextured object called col-1 for every shape that needs collision and export both it and the original object to a single shape. But guess what? This collision doesn't apply to the camera, which travels right through these shapes and is incredibly disorienting. To fix that, you have to manually edit the mission in Platinum Quest's files to add each shape as its own data block, and then load them in as dynamic shapes rather than static. Right, all 37 shapes are now listed as dynamic, and what? A crash? What's caused it this time? Get this, there's also a limit to how many custom data blocks you can have in one level. After some testing, me and the Platinum Quest community found that I could only use 33 data blocks maximum, and with the number of props I needed to add to the level, that put a real strain on me. Fortunately, I was able to merge several props together and mirror similar shapes across the level to produce the total number of shapes needed, having to remove duplicate materials after every single one of these merges. And then there's the frames per second issue. Guess why the FPS is so low in this level? You think it's due to the amount of detail on screen? Or perhaps the number of objects in the level? Wrong, it's actually the complicated collisions of each shape. This was when I deviated the most from Turbine's normal look out of frustration. I got rid of basically every light prop as I couldn't be bothered to simplify all those collisions, combined with the fact that Torque doesn't have any baked lighting, so it's not like they're casting anything. That left me with a couple of props with overly complicated collisions, like the generators in the middle of the map, these machines off to the sides, and plenty more, which I simplified as much as I could without sacrificing how the marbles should behave. If you find your FPS dropping on a high-end PC, I did all I could. You could blame these props for being so detailed. And with that, the level's look was almost complete. But everything you've seen so far has been relatively simple. So do you want to know how to convert animated props to shapes? You don't because it's knowledge you'll never use? I don't care because I've got a tale to tell, and boy, I'm going to tell it. Because I didn't want to frustrate myself too much, I imported an animated shape from Platinum Quest and checked its structure, then set up this spinning fan prop to appear identical to it, both in object names and properties. But when I attempt to export it, the DTS add-on throws this error. What's going on here? No matter what I do, I can't get it to export an animated shape. And here's where the lunacy of porting Turbine to Platinum Quest really takes hold. The animation portion of the DTS add-on for Blender version 2.92 is broken. You know what I had to do to get this stupid fan in the intelligence briefcases to work? I had to export them as collada files, import those into Blender 2.79, which is even harder to use because of its ancient interface, reapply the materials to the props, add all the missing animation data, including markers, duration, and a text file that contains this trivial but critical technical text in it, then finally export all the objects as torque shapes. And I had to add this extra code to the mission files to get them to work. Only then do they spin, although they initially spun at the wrong speed, so I had to correct that by cross-referencing footage between the two games in my video editor. All of this is not even mentioning the ridiculous amount of effort that went into using the in-game mission editor with its flimsy controls and weird depth issues between interiors and shapes. But I will spare you the details of that since I've rambled for too long and have already had to relive enough torture for one video. Believe me, I am just as astonished as you that I went through all that trouble just to get Turbine of all the TF2 maps into Platinum Quest. And in case you're wondering whether I'm going to port another TF2 map into this game, I highly doubt that. Turbine was an incredibly simple map with no displacements or skybox, and even with such a basic map, I hit the shape limit. You'll be able to tell that this is the penultimate TF2 map port because of how much I've milked this level dry by stretching it out into 5 different missions. And all of those missions are yours to play, so here I'll spend some time telling you exactly how you can get started and begin setting some scores or battling with others. Like I've mentioned before, Platinum Quest is free to download at marbleblast.com for Windows and Mac operating systems. Once you've installed the game, you can then download the level files and missions on my Game Banana profile. The links to these downloads will be in the description. The single player missions can be accessed offline by clicking play and then selecting the custom category, from which you'll be able to select one of 3 modes. Team Fortress 2 players will be most familiar with Capture the Flag, where you need to steal the blue team's intelligence 3 times as fast as possible. Don't forget to check out all of the alternate paths in one run, as there are time travel power-ups on each which will improve your score. Then there's Gem Collection, the standard single-player game mode from Platinum Quest. In it, you need to collect all 25 gems before returning to the red spawn. There is an optimal path for grabbing all the gems as quickly as possible, but that's something you'll have to learn for yourself. And the last single-player mission is Gem Hunt, where gems spawn randomly around the map and you need to collect as many as you can within 5 minutes. Try to have a power-up on you at all times, and don't forget you can press E to do a small blast to launch yourself up onto the shipping containers. See if you can get the platinum medals on each of these missions. Now for the multiplayer side of things, which I do recommend you get a marbleblast.com account for. There may be a server hosting the Turbine missions, but if you can't find one, you can either forward your 28,000 UDP port or use a software like Radmin VPN to host your own. Hey, that's how I managed to make those Land of Fortress videos several months ago. Downloading inside Platinum Quest can be flimsy, so if you ever get this invalid packet error, try downloading all the Turbine files first before opening the game and connecting to the server. From here you can go to the Custom Hunt category to find the Gem Hunt mission I mentioned before, which is the primary multiplayer game mode of choice for Platinum Quest regulars. In the Custom Co-op category, there's a variant of the Gem Collection mission specifically for 2 players, now with 40 gems to collect. You'll have to split up and discover 2 separate optimal paths to get a good time here, so teamwork and good movement are of utmost importance. And finally, in the Mega War category and under Beginner, because there's no Custom War category, you'll find the Mega Marble War version of Turbine, which is the closest to the deathmatch side of the original TF2 map that Platinum Quest can possibly get. Earn points by ramming into other marbles while giant at high enough speeds, just like a swarm of demo knights all trying to shield bash each other. And those are all the missions that you'll have access to through my downloads, though I have no problems with people making their own variations, seeing as I put so much work into making this Turbine as accurate as possible. I guess now is the time for me to theorize what the goal of this project was, since I didn't think that far in when starting it. I do think people will enjoy what I've made and feel inclined to play on the level with their friends, and I hope that this port of Turbine isn't as badly designed as the original from TF2, according to YouTubers. But ultimately, I'd like to raise awareness of Platinum Quest, for it's the game that's keeping the Marble Blast series alive, and there is a generation of people that have grown up completely unaware of its amazing gameplay, well-designed levels, and multiple aesthetics. Oh, and I want to recover from the pain that I've inflicted onto myself. That too. Nevertheless, I want to thank you all for watching and trying this version of Turbine out for yourself. Check the description for the downloads and for my Twitch and Discord links. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you all next time. If you know anything about Team Fortress 2, you probably recognize this man, who stands over all of us with that smug smile on his face. This is the Heavy Weapons Guy, affectionately known as just Heavy in-game and in his Meet the Team video. Hailing from the Soviet Union, he has the greatest stature of all the 9 mercenaries that were enlisted to fight in the Gravel War. Despite his large, bullet sponge mass and his generally charismatic nature, he is an extremely formidable foe in combat. Sporting a sizable health pool and an arsenal of weapons built to maximize damage, the Heavy has all the tools he needs to do his job in a short amount of time. His job description is literally mow down, and that is exactly what you'll do to enemies in your path if you pick this class. However, all of the power people attribute to Heavy is under the assumption that he's just that, heavy. What would happen if he wasn't? We all take the gameplay of the Team Fortress 2 classes for granted when we pick them from the class selection screen. So what would happen if what we remembered about them wasn't the same anymore? Specifically, if we took away the defining feature of a class and then tried to play the game using their bastardized form, how enjoyable would we still find them to be? I thought it would be interesting to conduct this experiment on Heavy, the poster boy of TF2 itself, so in this video I'm going to be trying out just that. But before we even get to the gameplay discussion, we first have to know what the Heavy is all about and how we can account for what we will be removing. Let's first go over what we know the most about the beefy, Bologna-loving boss man, apart from his size of course. The Heavy has a base health of 300, with which he's able to withstand a lot of damage, and he needs this because he is the largest hitbox of any other class. None of them even come close in terms of max health, with Soldier having the next highest at 200, only increasing to 220 if he has the battalion's backup equipped. Not to be outdone, the Heavy runs at a pitiful speed of 230 hammer units per second. The only characters near Heavy speed are the Demoman and the Soldier, with 280 and 240 hammer units per second respectively. His primary is always a minigun with 200 ammo, which deals between 50 and 300 damage per second, depending on how good a player's aim is and how close they are to their target. In order to fire this gun, a spin-up must be performed, and during that time and firing, the Heavy's speed is reduced even more, particularly if he is unfortunate enough to be holding the Brass Beast. As for his secondaries, they range from reliable backup sources of damage like the shotgun to items that replenish a player's health such as the sandwich. There's even an item that enables a Heavy to go on a melee rampage with guaranteed mini crits for 16 seconds. And lastly, Heavy's melee weapons are decent last resort tools, mostly focusing on damage resistances or speed increases, whether that be move speed or swing speed. This leaves us with 6 potential defining characteristics that embody Heavy: his size, health, speed, and 3 weapon slots. But we can't take all of these away from him. Otherwise, other videos like this would make every class exactly the same, and that simply wouldn't make for good discussion. So we have to compromise and figure out which of these is most integral to the character. You always see Heavy standing to attention with his arms being overshadowed by his massive torso or holding up his minigun, for it is his darling. So right away we can drop the secondary and melee weapon slots from this list, for they don't resonate with the image he conveys. We can also scrub the Heavy's size from this list because changing that would require not only custom modeling but also hitbox changes, and we all know I'm too stupid to do either of those things. I think it's also okay for us to ignore his slow movement speed, for there isn't a drastic difference when compared to the Soldier. That leaves us with his high health and powerful primary weapon, and since I couldn't decide on one of these to remove, I could only conclude that both of these were Heavy's most important traits. So now that we know what to get rid of, we have to figure out how to do so and implement those changes into the game. First, we need to decide on a weapon that will replace the minigun, since it's left a gaping hole in the primary slot. We don't need to look to any other classes, however, for the Heavy already has a good enough damage dealer as a secondary, the shotgun. All we need to do is move it to the primary slot so we can use the engineer's version of the shotgun for this purpose, as it's identical aside from the different slot. Then we have to deal with the problem of Heavy having too much health, and that's easy. Recall that the next largest base health value is the Soldier's, who only has 200, so by simply adding a 100 health penalty to the shotgun, the Heavy's health is now identical to that. As for the secondary slot, since the second shotgun would be practically useless, the Buffalo Steak sandwich is far more risk than reward, and the sandwich gives 100 more health than we need, we have 2 good options: the Delocus bar or the second banana. I personally recommend the second banana because I'm more familiar with it. It effectively takes the role of the stock sandwich by fully replenishing the Heavy's reduced health. But I do think the Delocus bar could still be useful, for while it only does half the job, it can overheal the Heavy to 50 past his max health. That only leaves his melee slot, but since Heavy doesn't really have any particularly good choices for melee because he's more of a tank class, we really don't need to choose a specific weapon for this slot. If you have a favorite Heavy melee, you should still be able to use it given the previous changes. Now it's time to see what this looks like in-game, using a plugin called Custom Weapons X. So, after gathering footage for 2 consecutive streams, I'm going to attempt to answer what it's like to play as a lighter Heavy. Seeing the gameplay I'm showing now, or even just by hearing me describe the loadout beforehand, you might already be thinking of Fat Scout, a Heavy playstyle that involves willfully ignoring your primary weapon because you're powerful enough to survive on your shotgun alone. And while both Fat Scout and this stripped down Heavy are very similar, you could get away with a lot more as a Fat Scout than with this loadout. Unsurprisingly, the reduced health is the real killer here. A Heavy only having 2/3 of his default max health means that all of his matchups change for the worse. Because you die quicker, you find that it becomes far more difficult to maintain pressure on the enemy team. The one benefit to this loadout is the lunchbox item. You don't have to go hunting for a health pack unlike a Fat Scout, for you'll almost always be at max health when initiating a fight. But that doesn't take away from the fact that you need to dip out of combat frequently, causing you to play a lot more passively as a result. With less practicality comes the need for efficiency, and if we're ignoring the help your team can provide, that means you need to rely on your accuracy, positioning, and ability to predict the movements of your enemies. I found myself using or backpedaling to high ground a fair bit, and I figured that this was due to more of my shots connecting compared to my enemy when I was higher up, even if only by a little. But if there was no height variation around me, I could always rely on thick walls and barriers to give myself a quick break from the action to reload or refill my health. You can also hide behind the cart, but that's only for a short time, and the longer you can hide yourself, the better. Sure, hiding doesn't always work, and you might die senselessly at the hands of a pyro, but you've got to try to keep yourself alive. Now, when it comes to attacking, you need to have the advantage, for it's very unlikely that you'll survive if you have the same or less health than your enemy. To get this advantage, I tried to find flank routes to surprise the enemy from the side or behind, or just wait until they were busy reloading to ambush them.
Yes! Get off my point!
It can also help to stay close to walls, as you might be able to body block your enemy, which won't disadvantage you because you already run so slow. You won't find yourself worrying about your large hitbox, but if you're ever cornered, crouching in place repeatedly can throw off your enemy's aim. And if they're going in for a melee kill because you don't look threatening, your shotgun only gets more powerful the closer you are, so don't give in until you're forced to reload. Lastly, in cases where your enemy is attacking from the air or is retreating, go for the kill immediately. They are incredibly weak in these moments, and you don't want them overpowering you later after landing on the ground or grabbing health. Now, as you've probably observed, I've only been talking about what it's like to play as a light heavy on his own, but we all know that the fights in TF2 are a team effort, so let's touch base on that. If there's a medic on your team willing to heal you, then you can continue doing what you normally do and have even more success. But if you have team members other than medics around you, you are most effective when you're not the center of attention in a battle. With a medic, you can handle being in that position, but you should actively avoid it in every other circumstance. Flanking is always the preferred way to catch enemies off guard, but if you need to attack with your team right then and there, try using your teammates as human shields. You could dip back and forth through them to trade hits, allowing your team to survive against the enemy onslaught a little longer, however sadistic that process might be. Now that you know what it's like to play as a light heavy in general, let's take a look at each of his matchups with the normal classes.
There's a sentry down there. No, it was there the whole time!
If you find it difficult to kill scouts as a normal heavy, you're in for a world of trouble. Scouts that have good accuracy with their scattergun will not be an easy kill, but if they're trying to fight with a different weapon slot or are missing their shots a bunch, you might still have a chance. As for soldiers or demomen, you can treat them both the same in terms of playstyle and damage output. Just make sure to avoid their projectiles by crouch jumping and strafing, and the closer you are to them, the better, for they'll suffer from any blast damage they inflict onto themselves. Any sustained fire damage from a pyro will very likely kill you because of your low health, so stay out of their fire radius as best you can. However, if they're busy air blasting, you should then be able to get away with a couple of hits. A matchup with another heavy will be a joke at your expense, for there is no way you could face off against a better version of yourself. Unless they are running Fat Scout or using melee or are on low health already, you definitely need to stay out of their line of sight. Out of the engineers I came across during my playtime, I had no trouble disposing of those that use the Rescue Ranger or a different weapon slot, provided I was nowhere near their sentry gun. I'd imagine that if they were using any other primary, excluding the Thompson 6000 of course, you could expect to have a mostly even matchup given the difference in health and speed. Now, a medic matchup is a joke that you can laugh at, for they are very easy to kill, but only if they are alone. If they're not alone, you're not going to be able to get away with killing their healing target, unlike if you were a normal heavy. Sniper is just plain annoying, as any headshot or body shot will severely cripple you. If you're going to face them, check that no one else is around to distract the sniper and get as close to them as possible without them noticing. And finally, a spy will instinctually become trick stab happy around you, so dealing with them is as simple as walking in the same direction as them. Keep your eyes fixed to the spy, start backpedaling if they jump, and you'll have no trouble at all taking out the trash. Well, we've certainly learned a lot about this watered down version of heavy that you'll likely never actually try for yourself. But what are my final thoughts on this loadout? Obviously, there is no reason to play as a light heavy in a competitive setting. You are only disadvantaging yourself when you could be even more effective as a fat scout with a minigun on standby. But it was definitely a challenge to be playing heavy with a completely different mindset than he's normally known for. Additionally, the ability for me to use both a shotgun and a lunchbox item was quite surreal, and I enjoyed my time trying it out, but I will only ever play as the light heavy for the novelty of it from now on. Anyways, that's the end of the video, everybody. I've been working on the script and gameplay footage for this for at least a month by now, and I haven't really posted many videos up to this point, so it would really help if you shared this video around. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, and as always, I'll see you all next time. If you go into my YouTube channel and look through my entire catalog of videos, what are you going to see most often? The answer, of course, is Team Fortress 2, and I think we can all agree on why I play it so much and why people want to see me play it. It's a timeless game. It was released in 2007, became free to play in 2011, and it has seen a consistent amount of attention over the course of its lifetime. I don't even need to get into details about the gameplay being solid, or the stylized art direction, or the character design and musical compositions. It is an objective fact that Team Fortress 2 is a long-lasting property, and it will continue to be played for many more years despite how inactive its developers may be. Now, why am I talking about TF2? This is a video about something else entirely, something you've likely never heard of. That's a fair point to have, so let's address the elephant in the room. Gran Turismo 3. 3. It's a racing game made for the PlayStation 2 in 2001, and it certainly doesn't look like it could hold a candle to Team Fortress 2. Like, come on, all you do is drive. Not to mention that the graphics are so simple and dated that they make TF2 look like modern art. There's no online functionality here either. All you get is local 2-player battles. Oh, may Jack5 have mercy and stop torturing us with conflicting information and false pessimism. Well, here's what's gonna happen. I'm about to drop a thesis on you that is completely out of the blue for my channel. I'm about to challenge how you feel about ancient video games such as these. I'm about to prove that Gran Turismo 3 is a timeless masterpiece. That is not the only dramatic cut I'm going to do in this video, but I digress. You probably think I'm crazy for thinking this. Racing games can't be as complicated as first-person shooters, can they? To an extent, that statement is true. Let's break down the fundamentals of a racing game. You drive some kind of vehicle, typically against other vehicles, trying to reach a goal, and repeat this process for however many tracks there are. Okay, by that definition, the Gran Turismo series fits the bill. They're all typical cliché races. But there's way more to the series than most people give it credit for. You probably had no idea that Gran Turismo has a tuning system that abstracts car parts just enough for people who don't understand how cars work. How about the combination of real and completely original racetracks that all feel like they exist somewhere on this planet? The menu music and the user interfaces of these games are some of the most beautiful that you can find. And let's not forget the story modes, perfecting the show don't tell rule by letting you explore the world for yourself, and these too are abstracted so you're more likely to feel like a real driver. If I have so much praise for the Gran Turismo series, why does the third installment matter? I'll tell you why, and this revelation will blow your mind. Gran Turismo 3 doesn't care how you drive. That sounds completely ridiculous, right? Surely there has to be some rules governing the way you drive in order for the races to function properly. Well, there is a way to see this blindly accepted idea in action. If you play a time trial or a license test and you go off the track or crash, you fail and have to start over. Okay, so what? Let's say that you're in the middle of a race, you're in second place and about to lose, and you see this bend right here. Since we're in the video game world, seeing this image is probably giving your brain ideas that go against everything driving school teaches you. You want to cut the corner, don't you? Well, check this out. That is fun, and is a completely valid thing to do in Gran Turismo 3. What you just witnessed was the Trial Mountain shortcut, but shortcuts don't stop there. Did you know that you can ride walls and keep most of your speed because of the hard body physics? Or that you can push into the AI cars to give yourself an advantage when all else fails? It is these oversights that make the racing more engaging than normal. In fact, I could compare this to Super Smash Bros. Melee, a game that is also timeless due to the multitude of unintended character behaviors. But surely Gran Turismo 3's timelessness is not just limited to the bugs that got hastily patched by the fourth game. Don't worry, I've got many more ways to tear GT4 to shreds. For example, Gran Turismo 3 has the best story mode. So what makes it so good? Having to get driver's licenses isn't that fun, but it's part of all of Gran Turismo and pretty much a prerequisite for driving it all. It is once you've gotten all the bronze trophies that you can move on to the real meat of GT3. Beginner, amateur, professional, rally, and 2-hour-long events. No overly complicated map to navigate. Some events are championships, others are collections of single races, but all of them have clearly identifiable names and pictures with the flair of a graphics designer that doesn't fully understand the English language. My personal favorites are the races of NA Sports, Italian Avant-Garde, and Passage to the Colosseum. Some events even repeat difficulties, which makes it really easy to tell what kind of car you need to bring and which ones you'll be going up against. As you race, you'll also visit the auto shop frequently to buy wheels and refill your oil, but you definitely will not wash your car. You can also browse all the cars that you can't afford and buy all the parts you need for the ones you can. Even then, sometimes it's just nice to chill out and drive your car solo or watch it rotate on a metallic floor. This story mode takes a long while to complete, but no one story mode can last you around 20 years on and off like I'm claiming GT3 can. So thank goodness that Gran Turismo 3 has the best arcade mode. While Gran Turismo 4 shoehorned in an arcade mode that has absolutely no impact on the game, GT3's arcade is another beast entirely. Not only can you use the overpowered cars you own in the story mode, but the game tracks which single player races you win, and for every 6 tracks you beat, you earn 6 more. It all comes down to this bonus item screen, which records all your first places. Getting every light on this screen to turn on is a true endurance test, and while I haven't filled the board completely, you bet I'll be coming back to finish it. Back in the day when you used to carry around your bulky PlayStation 2 in a supermarket bag, you could trick other people to do this for you because the driving is so much fun. And while we're at it, let's talk about the little things. I've already mentioned the menu interface, but the in-game one is so distinct and striking to the eye with its orange text. This brake gear number is ingenious. You no longer have to put any guesswork second to when you stop. The music arranged for this game, especially the pieces by Daiki Kasho, are so clear against the noises of the car engines, unlike in GT4 where they absolutely suck. I mean, just listen to the difference. There's a replay feature for watching and dissecting the differences between your best times. The game has full steering wheel support, which I'll definitely never use. There's even cone physics. Now do you understand why I'm speaking so highly of Gran Turismo 3? It is feature rich, it is engaging, it is a marvel of its era, it is timeless, it is my childhood, and I am ashamed that barely anyone else got to experience this hidden gem of a racing game. Gran Turismo 3 is a grand old time. I got very overly enthusiastic during this video, and if that deterred you, I apologize, but I really do believe in everything I said in this video. This game transcends its time. If you have a PlayStation 2 and don't own GT3, I would highly recommend it. No other racing game has kept my attention as much as GT3 has, even when starting a second save file. Thanks to my viewers for suggesting I try a more bombastic video. You guys mean a lot to me. Keep on gaming, and I will see you all next time. I've been streaming Miitopia to my audience since early May, and I absolutely love the game. The sheer absurdity of putting characters you choose into RPG roles and observing their behavior over time is such an amazing premise. And although not all of my gameplay is highlighted on Twitch, I found out a while ago that the game actually keeps a record of every single major cutscene. One thing led to another, and now I'm joined by 6 of my Discord members on a quest to relive these cutscenes with terrible voice acting, no script, and no idea what any of us are meant to be doing. This is an entirely new type of video from me, so please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy it to show me I'm doing okay. And now, without further ado, I welcome you to the pilot episode of Miitopia, the Fandom. You will never hear this intro song cleanly because someone always has to sing over the top of it, but I'm gonna cut it off to get to the content.
This is the world of Miitopia.
Is it?
That's a me dancing. Oh, it's a world where every me can live together and in peace.
Let's not talk about what they do together.
Uh-oh. It's all purple. Their faces! No!
The narrator's scared. The narrator's freaking out of his mind.
God. What the f? No, not the guy! No!
Oh, the humanity.
He was just having tea. Their faces! Oh,
The narrator's just crying the whole time.
And now they're monsters! Oh god, why? Who would do this?
Let's stick on that gorilla.
Oh, it's Jack5. Hi. Behold.
Hello! It's me! Check me out! Yeah, I'm the famous YouTuber, look at me go!
Yeah.
I am so tired after not getting any sleep yesterday. It was like 1 AM and I was not asleep, but here I am.
He's just wandering around and stuff. There's a butterfly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh, wait, what's this? There's freaking eyes. Not as scary as mine, though. You gotta do much more than that to freak me out.
That's the face of a soul. Oh, God.
What is this voodoo magic? You can't scare me.
No, not the butterfly.
Oh! Okay, that's actually scary. I'm getting out of here.
Why is it so
That was the one thing I thought I was not gonna be scared, but I was scared. Okay, I'm lost. I'm just straight up lost. Oh wait, no, I'm not.
You see something.
And I'm going to that something. Here I go.
What in the world is that?
What the hell is going on? I can't tell.
What is it, Mommy? I'm scared. My head's a freaking bat magnet.
Shut your stupid mouth.
Where's the sound? Yeah.
There it is.
Oh god.
It's Alex and Gordo Scorch.
Oh, this can't be good, mate.
Wait, what the heck am I looking at?
Oh no.
Really?
Oh man.
I'm here to kill you.
Oh no.
I've come to wreak havoc and terror, and because I feel like it. So, you know, not a moron. I'm starting with you, first things first. I've got my priorities straight. Face of the mind now. Give them over.
This Wheatley is just... Wheatley's just so, he's just so calm about this.
I'm dead.
Oh, Porgy, oh, my heavens! There's their faces!
That's right,
Okay.
all mine now. I don't have a face of my own, so guess I'll have yours instead. Now listen here. I've got things to tell you, and crap, I've forgotten what it is. Sit tight,
Seems like a very
try
weird
and
thing to say.
uprise a rebellion or anything. Make things easier for both of us. Okay, I'll see you. Bye bye.
Oh, hi, Wheatley. You're back. We totally didn't do a second take.
No. I was just reading some books. So
Who are these
find
people
any,
that are
like,
speaking?
shatters
They're
in
not.
real-
They're not speaking in their lines. Anyway, I want Scout's face. Give it to me.
really,
Once
I think
more,
I did you
I
a
think.
favor by taking it.
Yeah. Okay. Just give it to me. I can't stand these other people.
Fair enough.
Hear the voices in your head.
Get out of my
I
head.
can't give it to
And
you
the
directly.
voices say.
Put it on this thing. Whatever
Maybe
it
if
is,
I put.
I don't
Maybe
know
if you
what-
put it on there, the voices will stop.
There we go.
The voices never stop.
No, they haven't stopped. Help me.
Oh, bloody hell! I can't help you. Sorry.
Oh no! It's just me trapped in my own thoughts. Why am I talking to myself? Ah, it's gonna attack
Because
me!
you're insane!
No!
Oh, what the what the fuck is that? Is that a necklace? Give me that. It could be worse than that.
Okay. Oh, where am I? Where am I?
Hey, Jack5, I've got my fucking Viagra. Could you hand it back to me?
I can't see it, but I'll look for it.
Alright, oh, thank you, dude. You may not believe this, but I am technically God, aka the voice in your fucking head.
Oh no, not another voice in my head.
Yeah, I guess I'm the fucking good one. Just hear me out when I say this.
Okay.
Just hear me out. You are in a spot of brother, my child.
Brother!
Wait, are you my son?
Brother!
Wait.
Mate,
Oh God!
am I your...
I mean, stand, my condom broke. Okay,
oh,
yeah,
no.
that makes sense.
I'm your child, am I? Great.
Okay, this is cool. I guess I should give you the gift of gods because you're.
Okay, well, yeah.
Here, son. But after this, do you want to go play ball? Yeah, we got to do a lot of catching up.
All right, fine. Yeah, I'll play.
Catching up.
You can now use some jobs, and you can like I don't know. You can use the jobs to.
Okay.
Now, son, get a fucking job. Stop sitting in my house.
Okay, I'll get a job. Right, just give me a second, okay? I gotta get dressed. Okay, all right.
God,
This is my Final Fantasy cosplay. Do you like it?
You look like a weeb, son.
Really? I do?
Yeah, son, that doesn't fit you.
Oh,
I think
no.
you need to go a size up. All right, Jack5, son, go play with the other kids now.
Okay, bye,
Daddy needs
Dad.
some alone
Bye, Dad.
time.
Oh, okay.
This
All right. I'm going for it. Oh, you're back.
Excellent work, son. You are brain damaged.
Oh, is that a good thing?
I guess so. Okay, I'm gonna look this up on Google on what type of brain damage you have.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go back to where your mom lives.
All right.
She misses you.
Yeah, she knows me better anyway.
These butterflies, they thought they agreed with your dad that it was too tight on you, but.
Oh man, look,
horny
why am I
butterflies.
with these idiots? Why am I trying to do this video?
Oh, looks like you're in hot water, son.
Am I? I'm pretty sure I'm sitting on sand right now.
I
Okay.
called up some friends.
Oh, alright.
Okay, so one of them died on the way.
Oh, great. Okay, but yeah, there is
You're only
one
getting
coming,
one.
right? At least one, please.
Yeah, you're getting at least one.
Okay,
I
good.
think.
Oh, there he is.
Now what in the blazes?
Oh, hello.
I suppose I shall help you if
Yeah, who are you? I don't know who you are. Oh, okay,
I
we're
am
fighting.
Robert Edwin House, CEO and sole proprietor of the New Vegas Strip, and I shall be joining you on your quest. This is non-negotiable.
Okay, fine. I've got too much stuff happening in my life. I'll just let it all happen. Okay.
Mr. House is now following you around.
Oh, wonderful. Hey.
Oh god, he's the one that survived. God fucking damn it.
Wait.
You're just mad that I'm an atheist.
Wait, you can hear him too?
I'm mad that you were the one who f***ed my wife.
I haven't f***ed anything that isn't a robot since 1998.
My wife was a toaster.
Wait, what are the implications of a god having, like, inanimate objects as being in relationships with them?
I am a god, I can make them become non-inanimate objects.
Oh, okay, let's not talk anymore.
I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah.
I choked on water like 2 seconds ago.
This is the most fun I've had in a very long time.
I know. Wheatley, where are you?
No. I was just reading some books, so not a moron.
You're always reading books!
How do you keep running into me? I swear,
Because you're always sitting around reading books. You need to start getting some exercise, which I totally do.
I don't even have any bloody legs. How do you expect me to do leg stretches and such? I can't skip leg day.
But you just said you don't have legs, so there's no such thing as leg day.
Yeah, well, I've got to exercise something. So I'm exercising my mind.
Is that your exercise?
Yes.
I don't think making...
I am the Senate.
Who said that?
It was me.
I believe it was the Senate.
It was me.
Oh look, it's the Senate.
This Wheatley I've been hearing on, I have not heard of him because I am the Sith Lord. And you do not have any say.
I don't think that sounds very nice. I don't think I'd want any part in that. I'll go now.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, Wheatley's off to read more books, so that's good.
Who are you, my good sir?
I'm Jack5, I guess.
I am Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, but you're the Senate, aren't you?
Yes, I am the Senate, and I am everything, but I am an Emperor as well. You have no say in the matter.
Okay, well, what do you think about, the government?
It should be more of an empire.
But are you in the government? You should know more about it.
I am an emperor. I don't the government, so I leave that to my advisors.
Oh, so you're like a different government. Oh. All right. Well, can you help me on my quest or something?
Yes and no. No, I will not follow you, but I will pop up at random time.
Okay, well, that's all I need. In fact, I prefer that.
Yes, I do believe we've got quite enough company as is.
I hope you enjoy the voices in your head, because I hear them too.
Oh, okay, well, that's good.
As the heroes travel to Castle Greenhorn and me and the other voice actors follow along, we will encounter many more adversities. Who did I pick to be the king and princess of the royal court, and what voices will they get? What about the love interests, the prince and the noble's son? And will I find a better way to fix my mistake of filming everything too quiet? The answers to these questions and more will be released in the second episode, if it ever releases. To improve those chances, like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, I said that twice. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Joining a fandom or community is something that anybody can do quite easily, but from past experience, I know that it can just as easily work against the people that jump in head first. This has happened more times than I'd like to me personally, and there for sure are other factors that contribute towards this, but for the most part, the blowback is a result of somebody growing attached to something they aren't familiar enough with, throwing all their eggs into one basket, and ultimately running out of energy too quickly or embarrassing themselves in some way or another. For this reason, I've developed this video guide so that both me and anybody that discovers this can make a proper assessment of whatever they're interested in, and determine with a reasonable level of certainty whether they should join that fandom or community. I've thought about making this video for more than a year, so I apologize if what I've learnt during this time has degraded to the point of incomprehensibility. Let's just get on with it. The first question to ask, and the most important one of all, is this. Have you participated in what the fandom is built upon? It is actually possible to join a fandom without having even experienced the source material, and this can be detrimental to the longevity of your involvement in a community. You'll notice that I've been using Deltarune Chapter 1 as background footage for this section, but why? Well, this was my first experience with Toby Fox's series, and yet I got into the Undertale fandom way before then. I have never owned Undertale, and yet I was associating with people who assumed I had, All of the information about Undertale that I learned was from gameplay videos and fan works. This is a terrible way to go about things, where you start to battle with yourself because you're acting disingenuous. Somebody could find out that you don't know what you claim to know and shun you for that, but the most likely outcome is you beating yourself up over your lack of knowledge, forcing yourself to be better without doing what you should have done in the first place. If the fandom is centered around a video game, play it extensively. If it's a television series or a YouTuber's library of videos, watch most of it. If it's a musical genre, be incredibly familiar with the common features of songs categorized in it. Only then can you trust yourself when you create works and express opinions. But even then, you must wrestle with another contentious point. Do you have the ability to contribute to the community? Now, I can't help you find what form of creativity makes you happy. That is something that you will have to find out on your own. I also can't grade different types of fan works as better than one another with any accuracy. But here is what I can say. If all you have to offer is posting YouTube comments, Twitter posts, or any other kind of short opinion pieces, you are not going to be able to attract much attention at all. It is important for you to have a clearly creative outlet that you can utilize to fuel your existence in a particular fandom. I used to make really crappy digital art and post it to Tumblr, or just get other people to make digital art for me. Regardless of the quality of it, you can see that I at least had something else to supplement my opinions. Now I make YouTube videos, which exist in a moving picture medium, which has far more viewer retention than text. Once you've found your favorite type of work and have shown everybody your capabilities through your work, then you'll have the reference material and the audience that you need to continually contribute to a fandom. This next question has some relevance to the previous. How many kinds of people will you work with in the fandom? It's a lot harder to determine whether or not you fit the bill for this particular point, but typically speaking, you'll want to be able to find ways of contacting at least 3 types of people regularly and of a high volume. Using my time in the Team Fortress 2 community as an example, I get to speak with animators, content creators, mappers, players, server moderators, and server owners quite frequently. You might instead want to focus on chatting with artists, graphic designers, modelers, programmers, writers, or something else. What matters is that you have a broad spectrum of perspectives of which you can learn from and use to better yourself and the work that both you and other people produce for your chosen fandom. Collaboration is the backbone of fandoms, and so you must exercise this in whatever means available to you. While this next point doesn't always apply, it's still important to know. How long will you be able to maintain your character? You will always enter a fandom with a specific persona, which includes your visible identity and your conduct when using that identity. It is important to understand this so you are aware of the long-term trappings of pretending to be something that you aren't in real life. The best example I could think of for this would be Minecraft YouTubers, with a target audience of pre-teenagers, which you may be familiar with, perhaps even nostalgic for. It is extremely common for these people to alter the tone of their voice, talk faster than usual, and sometimes take on a completely fictional personality in order to keep the attention of their viewers. In order to have successfully maintained your character, you need to be able to keep your conduct and identity relatively consistent for about 4 years. That is a lot of time, and it's much harder than it sounds. I have used many fictional personas in the past, and all of them have faltered within 3 years after their creation. The only persona that has stood the test of time for me is myself, because I'm not playing a character when I represent myself. So think about whether you are artificially changing people's perceptions of you, and determine for yourself whether you can continue doing so for 4 years or more. And now the final question, which is mostly circumstantial. Can you tell your friends about the fandom and your work without feeling shame? Obviously, this is heavily dependent on how sensitive the source of the fandom actually is, and on whether you want outside validation or not. There is no way that you can promote an adults-only video game or movie to the general public in real life without being ridiculed, and if you already have other hobbies that you prefer to talk about, then you don't need to waste time with small talk about your community. But if you don't match either of these criteria, such as myself, then you need to be proud of what you're familiar with and your own work, both from your perspective and that of the outside world. If you say you post drawings on DeviantArt, then you're bound to be criticized by people that haven't gotten to know you. Of course, some stigmas are unavoidable, and that is one of them, so you should be aware of them and tune your insecurities so they don't affect you. However, if you believe that if people get to know your work, they will still show clear signs of negativity, or even start showing signs, then there's a good chance that either your chosen medium or community isn't right for you. In summary, if you are interested in joining a community, but you have a bad answer to any of these questions, then you should take some time to reconsider. Have you participated in what the fandom is built upon? Do you have the ability to contribute to the community? How many kinds of people will you work with in the fandom? How long will you be able to maintain your character? And can you tell your friends about the fandom and your work without feeling shame? That is my guide on whether or not you should join a fandom or community. Please tell me what you think about it and whether I helped you or not in the comments. I also hang around on my Discord server, so if you currently share the same fandom as me based on the latest video I've posted past this one, then feel free to sign up and join in the conversation. Thank you so much for watching all the way through, and as always, I'll see you all next time.
Hey everybody, it's me, Jack5, and welcome to the cutting room floor. This is the location in which I film a a lot of my videos, well, at least the ones that people don't want to watch. I'm here with my sister. This is her first public appearance as of this video on the channel. Some of you might remember one little video. Thank goodness that nobody could see it now. Okay, so the reason that we are making this video and why I even brought my sister in here at all is because we have Animal Crossing card packs. Katie got a Nintendo Switch Lite here for Christmas, as well as a copy of Animal Crossing and Minecraft, which you hate because it is not the Java edition of Minecraft.
Yep. Because
like Animal Crossing cards can be scanned into Animal Crossing via Amiibo, I believe. I hope that that's the case. I figured that these would be fun to open for a video. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rate the villagers inside after reading their wiki pages, of course, how attractive they are and how likely we are to want them on our islands. That's gonna be fun, isn't it? I hope so. Please like the video. I'm so desperate. All right, you wanna open these?
Yeah.
Which one do you want to open first? We've got Series 2 and Series 4 right there.
2, and then, 2.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, you don't need scissors, you can share it.
Oh, you don't need scissors? Great, well, this was a pointless prop. Jeez, I almost stabbed myself.
Wait, what the hell, man?
Okay. Let's put them all down on the ground.
What the heck is that? Oh, wait, no, that's just part of the
Yeah, it's just... We're gonna pull them out one by one, alright?
Yeah.
So just, wait, why are there only 3?
I don't know.
Does it only come with 3?
I don't know.
Wait a second. Does it only come with 3? Wow, it only comes with 3. I was expecting 5. What a ripoff. What a ripoff. Okay, well, now, I guess at least now we have less chance of encountering clones. But anyway, why don't you pick, the first one?
Drake.
The rapper. You know, the rapper Drake?
Yeah.
I'll show that for the camera. Looks like a
duck.
Yeah, it's a duck. His birthday is the 25th of
the 6th.
June. It's the 6th, right? January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah.
I was trying to do that.
Yeah. How about I look up Drake on Drake the rapper on the Animal Crossing wiki?
His name is Drake because it's a type of duck.
Yeah. Well, all I could think of when I hear that name is the rapper. Because
yeah, I know.
That's like, who calls ducks drakes? Eh? Wow. He looks so weird on the wiki page. This is so strange. Anyway.
Very strange.
His catchphrase is Quacko. His catchphrase is Quacko. I mean...
Okay, it's better than one of the ones on your island.
Oh yeah, Sky calls me airmail. I really hate that. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so he's male. I figured that.
Yeah,
although he looks kind of feminine on the wiki page. He wears a folk shirt. So
ew.
I don't know.
Yuck.
He's very good at rock paper scissors. He's a cartoonist.
No one cares about rock, paper, scissors.
Personality, here we go. This is where we learn everything about him. Okay.
Oh no.
As a lazy villager, Drake will be friendly and easy to get along.
He's lazy.
Due to his laid-back lifestyle. Like all lazy villagers, he has a love of food and relaxing. Oh, he sounds a lot like, oh, I forgot the name of the duck on my island.
Duck?
The chirp.
Sprinkle.
No, the other one. He fishes a lot. And is
Anchovy.
Yes, anchovy. That's
anchovy,
it. This guy sounds a lot like anchovy. I was kind of expecting this because from what I've played, a lot of the villagers in Animal Crossing New Horizons really have the same personalities.
Yep.
It's either like one of maybe 8. I started with the villagers Pashnima and Tank.
Tank is a rhinoceros that is into fitness. Pashnima doesn't really have a personality.
Well, we haven't been able to pay attention to her personality enough.
And on my one, I have one that's called not Mango.
Rowan. He says Mango. Mango is his catchphrase.
The other one is Cat.
And they have identical personalities. Rowan has the same personality as Tank. And Cat has the same personality as Pashnima. And I realized every island starts off this way. Alright then. I mean, the villages are different, but maybe this is just a wild coincidence. I mean, we are family. We are related. Anyway, let's keep looking at Drake over here. Drake will enjoy partaking in the usual hobbies, usually for relaxing reasons or for food, like when fishing. Oh, he just sounds like a copy of Anchovy, really.
Yep.
Drake will get along well with other villagers, but may offend or confuse jock villagers who have a lifestyle of exercise and fitness.
Tank.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's everything that we need to know about Drake. Now, we know what he's like. He's basically just a copy of Anchovy, and we know what he looks like. Now we need to rate him out of 10. How about you rate them first? You're more likely to come up with a really bad rating, and then I can average out what I think our rating should be. So what do you think?
Is it looks?
Looks and personality. You could do both at the same time. This is an overall rating here.
Oh, overall, okay.
Yeah. Out of 10, out of 10.
Maybe about a 6.
You think a 6?
Yeah, because his looks are a 4, because he is ugly.
Really?
Anchovy looks better than him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I
Like
love
Anchovy is slightly better. I mean, they're both identical in terms of personality. And yeah, Anchovy, I do like him, but he does get on my nerves a little. If I had to rate Anchovy, it would probably be a 7. So yeah, I'm okay with the rating of 6 for Drake. So
just put that
let's just put that over there, and we'll move on to the next card. Oh, it's a sparkly one.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but this is Porter. He was born on the 17th of April. He looks like a train conductor.
He does!
You know, because he has an outfit on like this, and it's a sparkly card, I have a feeling that this one is not going to be compatible with New Horizons. Okay, so let me quickly research Porter on the wiki. Yes, there he is. Alright, he is a monkey. He offers a train station service, so I'm guessing that like he doesn't have any catchphrase. He's definitely not a New Horizons villager.
No.
Oh well. We don't even know what his personality is. It doesn't say. Okay, well, his occupation is where his name comes from. He first appears in Animal Forest and Animal Crossing, and reappears in New Leaf. Little is known about him. He resembles the villager Champ. Well, that's really helpful. So we've got nothing to work with. Since we can't get him on our islands in New Horizons, I'm immediately taking 5 points off this guy. It's an out of 5 for this.
Okay.
What do you think?
Out of 5, probably a 4.
A 4? Yeah, I'm totally okay with that as well. Now you can pull that one up.
Cookie!
Cookie! Oh, this one's called Cookie. Katie's really gonna like this. Check that out. It's a dog.
I love her.
It was born on the 18th of June. I remember June because it says the number 6. Here's Cookie's wiki page. Oh wow, she looks even pinker on the wiki page. Jeez, okay.
She's cute
alright, her catchphrase is Arthur. Like a dog. Arf. Except it's Arthur.
Oh, that's cute.
She wears a blue retro dress in New Horizons.
Oh.
She's skilled at dancing and she wants to be an actor. Alright, let's check her personality. Peppy villagers appear to be in a good mood often and are easy to become friends with. As a peppy villager, Cookie will have the tendency to overreact in conversations about trivial subjects and will usually be overexcited to see the player or other villagers. Peppy villagers dream of becoming famous in the future. I think I can stop reading there. I don't know if we've met any peppy villagers before. Bubbles was like a super pop star, so I don't think that Cookie is one of those.
No.
I don't really know what to rate her personality because of I've never really experienced it.
I give her an 8.
You want to give her an 8? Okay. I don't really have any objections to that because I can't know for sure.
Oh, the package!
Yes! Here is the other package, Series 4, and let's hope that we don't get another one of those villagers that we can't put in the game. There you go. Oh, don't rip them. There we are. Alright. I'm gonna pick these out for this time. Mira was born on the 6th of July, because July's after June. She looks like
superhero.
She looks like a really, like one of those shoehorned in superheroes that marketing agencies make for girls. Like yourself. I'm not very happy about Mira's looks, but
me either.
I'm gonna look her up on the wiki and see if we can get anything about it.
Ew!
Alright.
She's ugly.
Alright, so her initial phrase is cottontail.
Oh, that's cute!
I don't know if I'll like it if she keeps calling me that.
I'd be okay.
She wears a red Zap suit. She's very good at telling jokes, and her goal is to be a makeup artist. Okay.
She does not look. She looks like she wants to be a knockoff Superwoman.
Yeah, I know. That's all I can think of when I see her. Mira is a sisterly villager. When befriended, she will give the player fighting tips and teach them ways to relax. Mira will also give the player medicine if they are stung by a bee. That's really useful.
Yep.
Like all sisterly villagers, Mira is tough, but she will still care deeply about her appearance. Mira has a tendency to stay up very late at night. It is easy to get her picture since developing friendships with sisterly villagers is simply due to her caring and protective nature. Wait, you have to be their friend to get a picture with them? That's not how it works in New Horizons. This must be other games in the Animal Crossing series that we don't care about. It's very good that she gives you medicine, but I am not happy with her appearance. I think her appearance is terrible, and her catchphrase is probably going to get me really annoyed. I'm gonna rate her down, but I want to see what you think.
I'll give her a 5.
A 5?
5. She's worse than Drake.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, 5. That works. Yeah, because Drake was 6. Yeah, go ahead.
This one.
It's another it's another sparkly one.
No, sparkly ones are bad.
This is Brewster. He was born on the 15th of October. Don't need to memorize the 10th month.
We don't even need to look him up.
I don't. No, I'm gonna look him up anyway because there might be a chance that we will be able to get him on our island, but I don't think so.
No.
Let's check.
If he
Yeah, we can't. He works at the museum.
Museum?
Yeah.
We're gonna get a museum soon.
He works at the Roost all hours of the day in the lower floor of the museum in his own shop. He is a quiet, reserved pigeon with an interest in coffee. In City Folk, he also has an interest in collecting gyroids. What are gyroids?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's one of those things. It's one of those fire hydrants with the arms and the face.
Oh no!
Why would he wanna collect those? That's freaky. This guy's scary. I don't want to be around him.
Pigeon.
We have to go out of 5 again because we can't even play as him. So
3.
3.
A 3.
No, I want to give him a 4. I like his looks, and I bet in the game he's in, he's a really nice guy. But and I love how he collects the fire hydrants.
I don't like that he's a pigeon and he has a mustache.
Wait, he's got a mustache?
Yes, there's a black thing on his schnoz.
Oh yeah, okay, 3. I thought that was just random facial features. Okay, now we've got Gail. This is our last one.
She's so cute.
She was born on the 17th of May. Because it's the 5th month. She looks weird though. I'm not a fan of how the crocodiles have those weird eyes at the top and it's just like bulging off of their heads. Why does every villager on the wiki look so pink?
Why?
I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Let's have a look. Okay, her initial phrase is snacky.
Snacky?
Yeah.
Why can't it be snappy?
That's such a missed opportunity. Her skill is hula dancing and she wants to be a gymnast. That doesn't give me very good...
A crocodile in a gym? Oh no, I would be terrified.
She has a normal personality and frequently acts kind towards players. Normal villagers get along well with lazy, peppy, smug, snooty, and other normal villagers. She may conflict with cranky and sisterly villagers. Befriend the most... Oh yeah, Roscoe. No, Roscoe. No, the only reason we don't like Roscoe is because he's the ugliest villager that we've ever seen.
And his voice.
Except for Gaston. Gaston is even uglier. So in case you're wondering about the cards moving on the table, that's because the camera died. Great.
Yay!
So we ended up doing our overview of all these cards before, like we didn't even get a chance to rate Gale on the camera feed. Let's just go through everything one by one as if we had finished everything before. So Drake gets a 6 because he's slightly worse than Anchovy. Porter gets a 5. No, a 4 because he can't be an islander, and we also think that he's like maybe just slightly not as appealing as we'd like.
Yep.
Cookie got an 8. That's one of your favorites.
Yep, she's so cute.
Mira got a 5 because she just doesn't look very nice. Brewster got a 3 because he's worse than Porter, and again we can't play as him. And then as for Gail over here, oh damn it, I gotta, okay, there we go. We gave her a 7 because she is in between Drake and Cookie in terms of looking nice and having an okay personality. I mean, she has a very normal personality, so there's not really much exceptional about her.
She was a 7, not a 5 or a 6, because she's better looking than Drake.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's not an 8 or a 9 because she's not better than Cookie.
Yeah. Before my camera decides to completely die on us once again because it is now low on battery and we have to wrap this up very quickly, I'm going to thank my sister for being here.
Thank you for letting me on the show.
Yes, I wouldn't let you on any other video because you would hurt my numbers, but now you're here. So that's cool.
But that's offensive.
Yeah, it is. We've already done this joke before, but it's still funny because I keep coming up with ways to make it worse. That's gonna be it for now, guys. Maybe you might appear in a different video, I don't even know. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye!
Having a meta in a video game can really affect how outsiders perceive it. While Team Fortress 2 has caused some issues during certain updates, it has survived through thick and thin due to its large pool of diverse weapons. The community game mode Zombie Survival, however, didn't initially have that luxury. It's come a long way since the start of 2018, when there were no true weapon balances to speak of. The strict meta during that time turned newcomers away, and players were ridiculed over the game mode's exclusivity. But after several changes, Zombie Survival has transcended into a new era, and the stereotypes for each weapon have changed quite a bit. Before we begin, although these stereotypes may be educational, they are entertainment first and foremost, and cannot represent all people who use each weapon. If you want to skip to the engineer weapons, the timestamps are in the description. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to pretend we know everything all over again. The stock bone saw, unchanged from the base game. It has stood strong during these trying times, and I'll repeat this stereotype here for your benefit. Medics that have sworn by this weapon know that it deals the highest damage per second of all their melees. They're also quite efficient at running into bases and airstrafing to avoid gunfire, unless they're wearing common cosmetics or none at all. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
You're not allowed to say that. Did you just claim that Zombie Survival is more inclusive than before? Then you can't just judge people out of the blue. That makes you a hypocrite.
Okay then, Jack6, answer this for me. Do you constantly check everybody's profiles and stat pages just to prove their true skill level?
No, that's a waste of time.
Exactly. People don't like researching. All they want to do is zone out and play some TF2. Cosmetics are just the easiest metric to assess.
Whatever, you're a moderator of Rushy servers. You're not allowed to have opinions about this. I'll come up with something else to argue with you about, just you wait. You can't get away with making this scum of a video twice!
Pause here if you want to read some quick stereotypes about specific reskins. The Uber Saw is as widely used as the Bone Saw, mainly by people that have come directly from normal gameplay and haven't bothered to switch their weapons. Uber Saw users are most commonly seen spamming the taunt kill outside of engineer bases. It's such a powerful move when it lands, and so too is the adrenaline rush you get from seeing a fresh engineer corpse being pulled towards you. Additionally, you get 10 extra health with every successful hit, giving the Uber Saw a more aggressive playstyle than the other melees, which probably means the people that use it are just as aggressive themselves. I mean, if some of these medics are willing to stand directly in the line of fire and get shot over and over, you have to assume that they have a few screws loose.
One weapon that's always gotten the short end of the stick in TF2 is the Vitasol, and such you don't see many people using it. Zombie survival players that decide to try it, however, will find that it does extra damage to buildings at the cost of less health. This makes it a support weapon similar to the Ubersaw, requiring other medics to distract defending engineers, but outside these moments, Vitasol medics are incredibly fragile and tend to run away from danger faster than others. They don't want to avoid confrontation altogether, but they'd rather a consensus be reached by their team before participating. Oh wait, that's just politics. Let's not talk about this any longer.
It's been said before that Bonesaw medics are the unsung heroes of zombie survival, but all they have is experience and not necessarily humility. We should actually reserve that prestige for amputator users. If you've got an amputator medic on your team supporting you, respect them and protect them. They are saints through and through, sacrificing their own sanity just to decrease your chances of losing. It doesn't matter if they're leading the charge or sitting on the sidelines, all healing taunts from these medics are to be cherished. And now that they're marked for death while taunting, they need all the protection they can get. Don't let these innocent souls be corrupted by the dark side.
The Solemn Vow is the perfect melee weapon for that one medic that doesn't want any help. The enemy health display means that they can focus on an individual enemy rather than a group, even if it makes them less effective at dealing with them. In order to account for that decreased efficiency, the Solemn Vow allows the medic to take less knockback from engineers. This means Solemn Vow medics survive more risk-taking than most other players. While this is a good thing, the overconfidence it instills in them could be damaging. If you spot a medic using the Solemn Vow in the wild, do your best to rush in with them and don't let their confidence go to waste.
Thank you for that. That covers all the medic weapons as of current times. We'll now be moving on to the engineer section of this video, which will be much longer by virtue of having more weapons. As was the case last time, these weapons will be sorted by their slots. Current meta weapons within each slot will appear first, then all other weapons using their order from the official Team Fortress 2 wiki. You might be surprised by the change in order when we get to the secondaries. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and kick off this list of primaries with probably the most idolized weapon in zombie survival history. The Widowmaker is a beast of a primary, and everybody knows it. A majority of the top zombie survival players use it, because if you're able to hit every shot or simply defend an area well as a group, you essentially have an infinite clip. Widowmaker engineers therefore wind up being extremely self-confident, and while they find this fun and don't want anybody to take away their kill streak, they are the most likely to upset impatient medics and be accused of aimbot. It's been made a lot harder to become great with the Widowmaker, because it uses more metal per shot than the base game, but it's still possible, and you might be the next to be worshipped.
It's not really possible to assume anything about such a staple in the engineer's arsenal. So many players use the shotgun for all sorts of purposes, whether that be defending, hiding, or running. Their skill levels vary widely. You simply can't go wrong with the shotgun pick. While it is able to attract a similar audience to the Widowmaker because of its sheer reliability, the weapon doesn't have the same stigma because it's so broadly utilized. The shotgun and the Widowmaker are just good all-around primaries. If you want to get technical, you could say that there's hardly any difference between how each of them are used. But let's be real, Jack5 is just throwing words into the script and seeing what sticks.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm gonna have to play the meme clip just to make you guys happy, aren't I? Alright then. This primary used to have no redeeming qualities, but it's definitely in a better place as of this video. It's basically just a shotgun with half the clip size but twice the reload speed, making up for the original loss. You don't see this being used often, mainly because it's another weapon where people aren't bothered to switch after playing the base game, but on a lesser scale than the Ubersaw. Don't be deceived by that though, as these engineers can be quite crafty. It's because they're punished less when their clip runs out that they can surprise you with a sequence of separated shots, unless their aim is terrible to begin with, of course.
The Pumpsin 6000 has gone in several major buffs in an attempt to fix its fatal flaws, and yet it's still used as a joke weapon. These engineers do not care about winning and just want to have fun. The issue with the Pumpsin lies in the fact that it fires a slow-moving and large projectile that is easily blocked by other players and buildings. It only truly works if neither of those things are present, such as if a particular engineer is alone. There is no way to fix the projectiles, as how it behaves is baked into the source engine, but at least these people aren't too concerned about the viability of their primary.
Rescue Ranger engineers are most often seen as support for those at the front lines, but in order to give them more autonomy, the primary weapon has far more ammo, and best of all, you're not marked for death when moving buildings. Because of this, these players are able to switch between sitting at the back or front of a defense on a whim. The Rescue Rangers also, somehow, free of the problems the Pumpsin 6000 has. I don't know why, but why should that stop us from capitalizing on it? These guys want to help, so let them help you, but sometimes they don't. Though they're a helpful asset, they can never be as loyal as amputator medics.
We may still grieve over the dramatic changes Valve made to the panic attack in the Jungle Inferno update, but with a few tweaks, it has been made closer to the shotgun and actually usable, what Valve tried to do in the first place. With a faster reload speed and no decrease in accuracy, the panic attack exists in a weird place where both die-hard fans of the original version and players just looking for a shotgun with fixed bullet spread can both coexist. Due to this, the stereotype ends up being roughly the same as the shotguns, but with a small dash of hipster. And to be honest, that is the best ending to this drama we could hope for. Whew. That's the primaries done and dusted. I've been hyping up this next section long enough, so at long last, let me introduce to you the current meta secondary weapon. The Wrangler? Yes, the Wrangler is part of the meta in zombie survival, and that must be surprising. How can a weapon that only affects sentries with ammo be used for when they never appear? The answer is an entirely new mechanic. It takes longer to pull out, but once you're holding the Wrangler, you'll run faster and take less damage. This is a huge improvement, allowing engineers to run from medics for a short distance, and they can jump repeatedly to get hit further forward. Engineers that use the Wrangler will stick with you until the last second and carry on your legacy. As for the Geiger counter, it's just a show of the money that they spent to get it, but they'll cooperate with you nonetheless.
Now that the Wrangler is meta, the pistol and its reskins are just a thing. They're in a similar situation to the all-round primaries, but instead of being great, they're just okay. And that is what the pistol was designed to be. It's still the most used secondary in spite of the meta, because some engineers just need some extra ammo. It may be because they can't land their Widowmaker shots, die using the Wrangler because of bad ping, need to inflict chip damage at a long distance, or they're just new players and don't know any better. Oh, and strange farming is a thing. Let's just let pistol engineers be pistol engineers. Alright, here's some extra reskin stereotypes for you to look over before we move on.
Well, the short circuit is quite the topic. It used to be overpowered, then it became underpowered when the alt fire was removed, and now the alt fire isn't coming back, but the weapon is in a slightly better place. It's gotten a massive damage increase so the normal fire can kill things in practice. However, since the short circuit has a pitiful range, it's mostly used by engineers at the sides of defenses for support, if it's even used at all. It's also regularly treated as a last resort, so if you see an engineer using the short circuit, they're probably just memeing or having a mental breakdown, and it's best if you leave them alone. If they're also using the Widowmaker, however, they need serious help. Anyway, the engineer melee weapons will most certainly have clearer stereotypes than this, so let's start.
Gunslinger engineers are just as well known for those that use the Widowmaker, but for a different reason. Unlike the Widowmaker, the Gunslinger has been made easier to use, not harder. Instead of having to get 2 consecutive punches for crits, all you need to do is kill 2 medics. This is slightly easier than before, and allows you to store a crit, which is great for when a defensive position is getting overrun. This makes users of the Gunslinger prepared, in a sense. They're ready to give the medics their all when the time comes, for better or for worse.
Engineers that use the stock melee are most likely new or inexperienced, as most other engineers flock to the unique weapons, but that doesn't make the wrench and its reskins bad. A swing speed bonus was added to give the wrench an advantage like all the other melees. You could classify it as a mini jag, for it effectively speeds up construction and repairs without any of the downsides. It does suck that higher level players don't give the wrench a chance despite these changes, so let's just hope that this video will encourage them to give it a try. Also, reskin stereotypes. These will be the last ones, don't worry. There's only one reason that you'd be using the Southern Hospitality. You want bloodshed. You want the medics to suffer a slow, painful death. This melee makes that possible. If a medic isn't getting any assistance, you only need to hit them twice, then let them bleed out and die hopelessly. If you see an engineer wielding this, they've got you in their sights, and they're likely going to usher in your demise sooner or later.
While the wrench is a middle ground between attacking and building, you are dedicating yourself to construction and repairs with this melee. You can get defenses up in no time with the jag, and that's great at the start of a round, but if you even attempt to strike a medic with it, you've already lost. The jag is so terrible at destroying medics, it's even impossible to outright kill with it when it's charged with critical hits. These players just enjoy overworking themselves, and corporations would kill for people as enthusiastic as that.
By now, you must be thinking that all the stereotypes are positive and everything is fine, but no. The Eureka effect throws that assumption out of the window. It comes down to the weapon's design, allowing for direct warping to spawn. As such, the players that frequently use it have no allegiance and only care about self-preservation. If even a single medic breaches their defense, these people have already begun to teleport away and leave their teammates to die. The worst of these players also build misleading and dangerous teleporters because of the reduced metal cost. You're pretty much required to have a medic stationed at the red spawn just to kill these guys. I know that sounds terrible, but that's the accepted stereotype. It's possible that with a drastic change to the Eureka effect in the future, its stereotype will improve, but I'm not holding my breath for that. In saying all of this, I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of people that are already angry with me. But since it would be pointless to lie about the Eureka effect, I've set up a battle for the ages. A melee-only fight, Gunslinger versus Eureka effect. And who better to challenge than the only other moderator inducted at the same time as me, Yellow Sage. The winner of this battle will take it all, I promise. I hope you're all ready. Let the fight begin.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight to the death.
Go on, get. You done incurred my wrath. You are a coward and a scoundrel. Now you don't look like a happy camper. Don't test my metal, son.
It just ain't right. Damn it,
Stalemate.
Now that was an ending, wasn't it? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these updated stereotypes. This video has been a long time coming, especially since the pressure of creating something to best the original video was overwhelming for me. Please show your support by subscribing, leaving constructive criticism, and visiting my Discord if you wish. Like before, I have to thank every one of the guest stars and voice actors that helped make this possible, especially Dom for putting up with my horrible opinions a second time. I also must thank you for watching, and as always, this goes out to those people that don't know my ending catchphrase. I will see you all next time. This video, and therefore the last 2 years, are dedicated to JLXton non-actual name, Nalexa, and Snartle for funding this channel. You've done it, guys. You've made it into another celebration video. Let's keep that streak going.